Hi everybody, we're at John Sadler's and we have a 2000 Ford Ranger. It's a 3.0 liter with a 6-shift transmission. And the customer's concern is they'll stop at a light and they'll start to give it gas and they'll give it gas, nothing will happen. They'll have to shut the engine off and they'll give it gas again and it'll go. And so they've already changed the mass airflow sensor, the idle air control, and now it's at my shop because they're still doing the same thing. And I'll show you what I found out. So there was no codes, we hooked up a scanner to it. And that's just showing our live data here, but the engine's off, but we didn't have any codes. And then I started doing a visual inspection, and here we have a meter hooked up, but they've changed this. It says Delphi on it. This is a mass airflow sensor, and this is the idle air control, and this is the DPFE sensor, differential feedback for the EGR. There's this big split in the hose there where they're putting it on, so they didn't do a very good job putting that hose on. They should have cut that back a little bit or replaced the hose, or I would have done that. Anyways, one of the things it said to do was to do the throttle position sensor, and what we did is we hooked to the gray white wire. It's a 3-wire sensor. It's got a ground and a 5-volt reference and a signal to the computer, and we've hooked into that wire. And now we're going to go here. It's supposed to have between 0.8 of a volt and 1 volt. And then we're going to put this so everybody can see it. Okay, I think that's a little better. So it'll have a graph. It'll have it'll go up to about 4.5 volts. And what you're looking for is to make sure there's no dropouts, that there's no glitches. And so it looks pretty smooth all the way through the range. So I'm just manually moving the throttle, and then we're watching as this has a little potentiometer inside there. It's got a little shaft on it that hooks to that, and it manually moves that inside that. And so if there was something wrong, we would see like a little area would have like a little spike going down, or it would be completely missing, then it would come back, or something like that would go on. So anyway, I like to do a lot of visual inspections, and I'm looking around and I look down here and I see this hose, and this hose goes over and connects to the front valve cover. It's like a vent system for the emission system, crankcase emissions or PCV, but it's just a vent by the oil fill cap. And but this vent is supposed to be recirculating, and it's supposed to go to this air intake. And guess what hooks onto here? The mass airflow sensor. So I took the little mirror, because I wanted to see how long that hose had been unplugged, and I'm looking inside there. Man, that hose it's all dusty and dirty in there. So that hose hasn't been plugged in for a couple of years probably. If you look at the fitting there, you can see it hasn't been plugged in for a long time too. So what that's doing is we're getting false air. The air is supposed to be metered through the air cleaner, then it goes to this sensor, so you know the speed and the pressure of the air and the temperature going into the engine. Well, if it's sucking air from a different position past the sensor, that's no good at all. So we're going to correct that problem and drive it around for a while, and I'm not sure if that's her whole exact problem causing with the vehicle, but it's definitely a problem, and I think it's a problem why they changed this. Probably, I can't say I wasn't there, but I probably wouldn't have changed this. I would have checked the line first and made sure something wasn't disconnected, because that's like a 3/8 hole. You can see that's a huge hole right there, and so it's just getting false air into the engine. That's definitely going to affect performance, mileage, everything else. So if you get a mass airflow sensor code, or you have drivability things, it's always so important. Don't rely on your scanner. Look around, and if you see something that's not plugged in, bring it to the customer's attention, and let's see if that can help. Like I said, it may not be the whole problem, but it's definitely a huge problem that has to do with the mass airflow circuitry. Thank you very much. Have a great day.